Hello, everybody, and good morning, and welcome to Sadie and Sean Have No Friends, or good afternoon, or really whenever you download this. You know, when the most popular time to post a podcast is, Sean, it's like 2 a.m. and 2 to 4 a.m. And then the most popular time to do social media, where the most people see it, is between 2 p. Wait. Stop clapping. You're distracting me. I don't remember what time the best time to post is. I think it's after 9 p.m. because
Yeah, I
people are
think
in
it's at
bed,
night
like,
'cause yes,
right? It's like
they
that's
scroll right before
yeah,
bed, which is
okay.
horrible for you, they say,
I know, but I still do it. I
because it
do it.
causes your mind to run, and you need your mind to be shut off before you try to shut your body off.
I'm still watching those stupid videos about British people on the system. I'm
I
like,
found one I found one, and I did not enjoy it, and I won't watch any more now.
well, now that's all
Not
I'm
for
being
me.
fed because I got sucked in and I'm just like, you bastards. Okay, so what sucks you in? What actually sucks you in?
I told you for a while there was Post Malone and his dancing, but that's kinda gone by the wayside now, and this has happened before, but it's happening again. I'm getting, like, little 20-second clips of Beavis and Butthead because Boone just thinks they are so funny, and Shannon thinks it's so inappropriate that I show it to him, but we watch Beavis and Butthead clips, and so he was walking around the Greeley Stampede this last weekend, and this is no joke, going like this, "Fire, fire, fire, fire."
And they just thought your child was just odd and liked
He's
fire.
just a little bit off.
That kid's a pyro. Um, that's so funny because speaking of things that Shannon's like, don't show him that. I am that way in our parenting situation because we had we were at the pool and there was a boy there. I mean, Murphy's going to be in second grade and there was a boy there probably in fourth, and they kind of got into it and the kids just started like taking this floaty, that's our floaty, and I see from across that he just starts hitting her with it like whack whack whack, and I'm like,
Hard?
what? Well, I mean, as hard as a floaty can hit, but I mean,
I've been hit
she
with a
was
noodle
taking
before,
it.
and it left a welt.
Yeah, and so I take off on the run and I'm like, whoa 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 whoa, what's going on? And Murphy's like crying because she's, she's little. And I said, "Hey, kid, you don't hit a girl. You never hit a girl." And he goes, "She was being rude." And I said, "I don't even give a shit. You don't hit a girl
Did you
ever."
say that? Just
Yes.
like that?
Yeah, I did. And he just stared at me. But I'm okay. So there are two things about this. The one thing is there was no fear in that kid. The kid was like, piss off. I remember one time I mooned the mailman and he pulled over and he knew, the route. So he knew where
Yeah.
I lived and he went to talk to my parents. And I was so scared. I was scared for days. I thought, oh my God, mailman's going to come back and talk to my parents. Tell them that I pulled my pants down. and, he never did, but it scared the shit out of me. This kid, zero fear. He was like, "Well, she shouldn't be mouthing off." And I'm like, "She's a girl. You can't hit anybody, but especially a girl."
You're brave because we've talked about this, but, like, it takes one mean parent who's like, "You don't discipline my kid," and
Oh,
then
yeah,
all of
I
a
know.
sudden, you have to fight the other mom at the
Well,
pool
but
in
here's the
front of your
deal.
6-year-old.
I wasn't like laying into him. I did say shit. But I didn't
That's
say
enough for some.
I didn't say
Some
you're a
moms
little shit.
well,
I
I know,
said,
but, yeah, some moms might take that as fighting words. Just
okay,
saying.
well then we're gonna fight at the pool. How trashy are we? But if you want to go there, okay. But you know, I don't know. I guess if it were a different situation and it were reversed, I'd want to know. I'd be like, what? My son is hitting a girl? No, I don't care how old you are. That's not okay. And so, and this kid was in fourth grade. So you got to think like 10, 11. By
Oh,
10,
yeah.
11, you should know you shouldn't be hitting kids and girls. And I don't
Well,
know. It
yeah,
was just
it's
weird.
not even just girls at that point, like, if this was a 6-year-old kid that an 11-year-old was hitting that was a boy,
Yeah.
that's still bullshit.
It's still bullshit. So I
You
had to
shoulda held
say
him under the
something.
water. What you should have done is taken him and put him under the water until he thought you were actually gonna drown him, like, with a point where it clicked, like, "She's actually gonna kill me," and then let him up.
Well, once I get my timing down, Sean, I'll try that. Because so over the weekend we're in the car and I'm like, you know what? Maybe do you want to go to the pool? She's like, I'm afraid he's going to be there. And what if he hits me again? And Ryan's driving, and I turned around and I said, if anyone hits you, you hit him harder, as hard as you can. And she's like, really? And I'm like, yes. If someone puts their hands on you and hits you physically, you hit them harder. And Ryan's next to me going, no, don't say that. And I'm like, no, listen to me. I said, especially if it's a boy. If it's a boy, you kick him in the nuts. You just go for it. And Ryan's like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, but you know what? I don't know. Is that wrong of me? Because I don't think it's wrong, but he thinks it's wrong. I don't think it's wrong.
I'm probably more siding with Ryan because I'm less confrontational, and I would be the type that would say, if somebody hits you again, come tell mom or dad, and we'll take care of it.
I don't know. I want her to grow up.
For sure. I get where you're coming from. I see your point. I'm just saying how I would probably do it.
Yeah. I just think I don't know.
At Shay's age or Sophie's age, like 16 for Shay or however old Sophie is, 19, 20 years old. Like at that point, yeah, you can't come call mom and dad anymore. So you're gonna have to kick them in the nuts.
So at what point do you start teaching that? Because apparently, according to my husband, 6 is too young.
Yeah, I think 6 is too young. I do. I think that you start teaching that like
when?
15, 16.
15? By 12 and 13, they're having to deal with this kind of stuff. I mean, even before that.
I think it's less malicious, though. It's less malicious. Like at 15 or 16, if somebody's hitting you and you're a 15 or 16-year-old,
it's a fight.
Yeah, that's a domestic abuse or something. At 6, it's a kid being a dumb kid.
Yeah. Yeah, but she's 6. He's 11.
Okay, well, he's not 15, so you can't kick him in the nuts.
I let it slide.
Yeah, you
like, how old are you, kid?
You little shithead.
He's like 14, and I'm like, all right, carry on.
Next time I'm gonna drown you.
Do you see now? Them's fighting words. You can't threaten to drown children at the pool. If I were a parent and I heard someone saying that to my kid, yes, I would be like, whoa, too far. But yeah, so now she doesn't want to ever go back to the pool. And part of me is sad. Did you have a bully? Huh?
Did you have a bully? Because I can think back. It was 5th grade. I remember it vividly. He threw snowballs at me as we walked from my babysitter. My parents would drop me off at the babysitter, and we would walk from the babysitter. Like way
too old.
Well, this was 5th grade though, so we would walk from the babysitter to the elementary school, which is still crazy. Like in this day and age, that they even allow that, because you can't walk anywhere as a 3rd, 4th, 5th grader by yourself. We used to walk by ourselves. Anyway, it was normal back then. And this kid was a dick. He was just a bully dick, and he was 2 grades ahead of me. And in 5th grade or 2nd grade, like Murphy, like 2 grades ahead of you is a much older kid at that point in your life. And so this kid who's 2 grades ahead of me is throwing snowballs at me hard, and he was pinpointing me, and I was scared of him. He was bigger than me, and he was mean and throwing snowballs. And I refused to walk to school that whole year because I was scared of him. And that, like, it's traumatizing. It's a traumatizing event for a kid.
It is. I think every kid deals with something like that on some level. I think that girls are so, and what's upsetting is you see the cattiness in such a young age. You know what I mean? It really does make me sad, because Murphy has always been like, play with anybody, doesn't matter who. What's your, do you want to hang out? You want to race? Okay, let's have a race. I mean, with some strange kid, but okay. And this is about the age where they start realizing, like, she loves unicorns, and she has a unicorn shirt that she loves, and she wore it to school, and some little bitch was like, unicorns are so stupid. And so she came home and she was so upset. She's like, I don't want to wear LA with unicorns again. And I'm like, God dang it, I hate these kids. Yeah. But it's hard being a parent. It is hard.
It's not new though. This whole thing's not new.
Yes.
Kids have always been dicks. They'll always be dicks. I think that it's just the weirdest part of the time that we're in is how you discipline them, because there was a time not that long ago where you got an ass whooping or a tongue lashing no matter what. If you were a dick, you got it. And now we skirt a thin line where you almost,
or like if a teacher stepped in.
Yeah.
It was like, oh God, the teacher's involved. And now again, kids, they don't care. They will tell a teacher to piss off, and they will tell a parent
They
They're
know, like
ugly.
it
They don't care. They
in
know
3rd
that
grade,
our
they
hands
know.
are tied.
Yeah, if you do something wrong, I'll just pull out my cell phone and I'll videotape you and I'll put it
So
on
messed up.
TMZ.
I know, what a time to be alive. My grandfather was a high school math teacher, and, I mean, just it was just a different time. Like, my mom was like it was like, "Yes, Mr. Balthazar," that's her maiden name. It was like but he also taught wood shop too, another time. And now people don't know how to put shit together.
Yeah, you can't put our generation's kids around saws.
I know. So my mom was saying that her and my dad went to Lowe's the other day, and there was an older gentleman helping them. And my mom just, I love her, but she goes off on these random, tirades where she told the guy, he was like in his 60s, "What are we going to do when all of us are dead? And it's just these stupid kids." take over?" And the guy's like, "I don't know." And she's like, "Kids don't even show up for work." And that is true. Nobody, kids,
Yeah,
when
there's a
I was
problem there.
young, I
Mhm.
worked at, I had like 3 jobs at a time. And it's funny because I worked at Taco Bell at a gas station, and then I worked at a cancer center. And now I kind of look back and I'm like, I bet Taco Bell maybe gives you some that's not good for you. And then during the day, I'm going to the it was bizarre, but kids, they don't wanna work a lot, and
Yes,
they
but
don't
there's something from every generation too. This also isn't new. Like
yeah,
our generation, the grandparents were like, "Look at these kids. This is what they do.
I
They don't do
know, but
this right." And your parents' generation, my parents' generation, they did something where their grandparents were like, they're never going to be ready to take over the world,
I
and it
know.
always works out. You mature, the generations mature, and it all is fine.
I don't know, we're in, like, a weird territory, again, where people aren't afraid of authority, like, kids are not growing up learning authority, like, you don't do that, you don't disrespect adults, and that's kinda scary to me, but that's it. Thanks for listening to Old People, the new podcast.
Yeah, here we are bitching. You're right.
Rage.
Hey, just because it's a follow-up to something that we talked about on 3 or 4 episodes, um, before this, the Haktua girl, she's back in the news. Did you see why?
First of all, I
They
was in the
figured out who she is officially because there's all these fake news sites that are like, "She's a
she was like a
preschool teacher. She
kindergarten
got
t
fired.
yeah.
Yeah, she's this or she's that. This is her name. This isn't her name." No one knows who she actually is. She's just some random no, they found her, and I know that because she performed on stage in Nashville with Zach Bryan,
Right, I
and
did see that.
he had her do the thing in the mic. Which I
Again,
already like
are
Zach
we
Bryan, but he
sure?
just went up 3 notches for me. Yeah,
Can
it's
I
her. It's her.
listen,
it's her.
you say that generations are I mean, this girl, she's reenacting spitting on that thing, and now she's, like, headlining a show. I guess I had read that, like, talent agents are just, like, after her, and I'm like, "For what? After the Hach 2 thing is done, what is she gonna be, like, an actress or something? Do you
This
really think
bitch
she'll
just
be
hit the
Marilyn
lottery.
Monroe?"
Yeah, she just hit the lottery by being a gross, nasty chick that was sloppy drunk on Broadway in Nashville. Like, everyone's looking for their moment, and no one would ever guess that that would be your moment.
I know, she probably just did it just and totally forgot about it. I know somebody I saw on somebody on social media today, like, raging about that. Like, there are some artists who are true artists who write their music, perform their music, pack their van up, drive. I mean, it's so hard, and then this chick, Blowjob Girl, she's on stage with Zach Bryan and singing Revival. What is that
Well,
about?
he always brings out a guest to sing Revival, and when you're in Nashville, every country music star you can think of lives there, so you have the cream of the crop, and
I
you're Zach
know.
Bryan, you're the 2nd biggest star in country music behind Morgan Wallen, in my opinion. You can bring anybody you want as your special guest for Revival because he always brings somebody, and he chose Hawk to a Girl over anyone else, and I love it. I
He's
absolutely
like, "Keith
love that that's
Urban,
what he did.
staying tonight with Nicole." You know that chick that spit on that thing? Taking your spot, so
Well, I saw some people that were like, "Oh, we know why he chose her," but he has Brianna Chicken Fry as his girlfriend, and they're very much still happily together.
what's her name? Brianna
We've
Chicken
already
Fries?
gone through this, and you
No, we
already didn't
haven't. I've
understand.
literally
Yes,
never heard of this.
yes, Brianna Chicken Fry is her name.
Okay, well, you told someone else that.
She's
Do not say that we had this conversation.
Now you sound like my wife. She's from Barstool Sports. So Barstool Sports is a big deal. So she's kind of like the tomboy of the bunch. She's the girl of all the guys, and Barstool Sports is kind of locker room talk. They talk about sports, but they also they're edgy. They talk about lifestyle stuff outside of sports. And she is like a guy's girl. And anyway, Zach and her hooked up, and they've been hooking up for like a year or two.
I wonder how she feels about him bringing Hawk 2
That's
Girl.
yeah.
You know, like, what is that supposed to be? But I think Hawk 2 Girl, it sounds like her career
It's Hawk 2. Quit saying Hawk 2. It's driving me crazy.
Sean, how many times have you done it?
When I did it, I don't just straight in, no spit.
Sean just goes for it. You know what? We have a problem. Here's what's funny. In the middle of I just found this out yesterday, Sean, that we are now big enough where ads are starting to be placed.
So, dang, that sucks for our consumers. Good for us.
So my sister texts me and she's like, what's with this dragon video game that you guys are pushing? And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And she's like, there's a commercial. And sure enough, we have hit the monetization stage where
does that mean
companies will go in. Finally? Yes. But I got to look at where this is. Where don't make me laugh. But I'm like, what? Okay, where businesses can go on and put their ads if they like your podcast, or
How
if
does that have
not even if they like it, if it fits within the criteria of who they're trying to target. It's not like the dragon video game people are like glued to their radio.
I mean, my target audience definitely wasn't the people that I picture playing the dragon video game. I'm just being honest. So the algorithm's fucked up.
I know. I wish cooler things. Yeah. You know what?
You know who plays dragon video games?
Dudes virgins.
Dudes who wear trench coats with long greasy hair that live in their grandma's basement. That's who plays dragon. And I hope they listen to this, but that's not who I'm targeting.
I know, but in a kind of hoish way, if we're getting paid, let's jump on the dragon video game train and be like, go get them, get you them points. You know what's crazy though about these video games these days? Oh my God, I'm doing these days again. But what's crazy is now you use real money to buy. No. Yeah. Used to be you bought a Super Mario game and then you played
the game
till that bitch ran out. Now it's like
the games are free.
Coins? Do you want some coins?
That's how they get you. The games are free. Like my kid plays Fortnite. It's free. You play Fortnite all you want, but you want the cool shit.
Yeah.
You want the gun that's going to help you win. That's going to cost you.
I know. And so all of a sudden, I mean, Cooper did this too, because he played that game when he was young, but Murphy really likes Roblox.
Yeah.
Same. And she's like, can I have some money? And I'm like, to buy fake money? You want me to give you real money? Just as we're getting monetized? You think I'm just going to throw that dragon game money at you? You're crazy. But I'm like, that's such a scam. It bums me out because I'm like,
a scam. It's smart.
Well, it's smart, but it's also kind of sad because it's true. Now you have to pay for it. Used to be you bought Duck Hunt and you just use the gun and hunt the duck. That was it. They weren't like, hey, you want to try to hunt an elephant? Give us $20.
You can't hunt elephants. You'll get canceled for that.
Whatever.
Ivory, leave the ivory alone.
I'm just saying, like, you know,
you could have said any other animal, but people get really upset about hunting and elephants.
I do love elephants, but have you ever watched Grand Theft Auto? That's way worse than hunting elephants. I mean, they're killing people.
My 13-year-old son always asks if he can have it. I've played it before. You pick up hookers and stuff.
I know it's rough. You put hookers in a trunk. It's
a good thing that wasn't out when I was 15 years old, because I know what would be in the spank bank. I would just play Grand Theft Auto so I could pick up the hooker, and then I'd have to take a 10-minute break.
Sean,
you didn't jerk off to Mario Kart, unfortunately.
Did you jerk off to Princess Peach?
I mean, she just didn't do it for me. They should have.
It?
I do remember. Oh goodness, this was after Mario Kart, but I wasn't very old. It was before I was getting laid.
Legends of Zelda?
No, there was a video game that came out, and if I remember correctly, it's still when Blockbusters were around because I had to sneak into Blockbuster and rent it, but it was kind of revolutionary. You rode a motorcycle or a bicycle of some sort, and it was like a strip version. And as you went and you did better, the girl would get naked. And I got it. I rented it from Blockbuster, and it sucked. The game sucked, but there was cartoon titties on there. And when I was 17 years old, that was really cool.
17? You were jerking it to video games at 17?
I didn't say I jerked it. It was just cool to like play.
You had to take a 10-minute break to what? Go wash your face? To go cool yourself down? Come on, Sean. Stop lying.
It's intense video gaming. My thumbs got tired. I just had to relax for a second, let the thumbs rest.
Your dad's like, Sean, why are your thumbs bleeding? Sean just has to get to the end of this game to see a full nude woman. And now there's the internet.
I had to turn it down so quiet because I was in the basement, so I had to listen real close in case somebody would be coming down the stairs, and I could turn it off and put Mario Kart back in.
Were you okay? So when you went to get it, were you like, "Hey guys, I just got this motorcycle game. I'm gonna go play it." Like, you don't have to mention there's a lady stripping nude, which I've never heard of.
My parents didn't like stop me at the door and be like, "What video game did you rent from Blockbuster today?" No. I just came in with a new video. I rented a new video. I rented a new video game, and they assumed that it was probably innocent because 99.9% of video games then were.
I know now most of them are pretty rough. They're pretty rough, killing hookers and stuff. I don't condone, but yeah. So it's weird. Do you want to hear something?
We bought a video game recently. It's called Red Dead Redemption, and it's a Western. It's a Western, and it's made by the same people that made Grand Theft Auto, which I didn't realize when we bought it. And I just assumed it was a shooting game where you're a cowboy and you go out and shoot bad cowboys or bad robbers or whatever. But I don't think there's hookers or anything in it. But dude, 5 minutes into playing it, the cowboy guy that's getting shot is like, "Have this, have that, shit! You just shot me in the balls." And I'm just like, dude. You can't play this either.
See, I want to play it now. What's it called? Red Dawn Dirt?
Red Dead Redemption. And there's two of them.
Way off. Red Dead Redemption.
It's like a movie too. But you're the main character in this Western movie, and you go around and it's crazy how far video games have come from Mario Kart or Pong to this.
Now that we are ourselves in the video game industry, I think that it's good that you're telling me these things because all I've referenced to is Duck Hunt and Mario.
I get there was some guy, he was another dad, and we were at a concert or something recently, and the kids, he has kids my age, the boys, his boy and my boy were talking about video games and all the games they play, and he looks at me, and he's probably making 3 times as much money as I am, and he drives a nice BMW, and his life is way more put together than mine, and he's like, "I don't play those video games, and I would prefer my kid didn't." He's like, "Do you play?" And I was like, every once in a while, I like to play Madden, which is the football game. And Quentin and I'll play it together. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I would never do that with my kid. I wouldn't want him to know that I play video games."
You know why he said that?
It's like a negative connotation.
Do you know why he said it?
Because he has a small pecker.
Well, that, obviously. But he probably has a dead hooker in the back of that BMW. He just didn't want you to know. He wanted to throw you off the scent, Sean. He's like, "Ew, no, I don't even know what that is."
Yeah, I'm just like, why?
There's a decomposing hooker in the back of his BMW, but he's going to judge you on how you play Madden with your child. It's ridiculous.
Who cares? Is that a thing though? Like, do you think if you knew as a grown adult woman, if you knew that a grown adult man was playing video games with his kid, regardless of what it is, if he played video games with his kid, do you instantly think of them as a lesser human being? Because I think there might be a preconceived notion by some people that if you're a dude in your 30s and you play video games, then you're a piece of shit.
Here's the only, I'm not in the gaming world, but I do know people who they love it. That's all they want to do is play these video games. Now, if you're really good and you get like a sponsorship and you're making money, all right, okay. But I see a lot of I don't want to just say guys, but I'm trying to think of do I know any women who are as into it? But I know guys who will come home from work, log in, put their nerdy headset on, which no offense, but they put their headset on and then they play till 1 a.m. And that's what they do with every moment of free time is they play Dirt Dawn, Redemption of
Red
Dead People.
Red Dirt Dawn. The headset thing, by the way, gets me too. Quentin's not allowed to have a headset because I hear how these people talk to each other on the headsets, and
Yeah.
it's not good. And the crazy thing is I think the majority of the people that are probably playing these games are between the ages of 12 and 17, and then
Yeah.
you get this one dude who's 70, 60 or 50, and he
Just
still
keep
is in his
shooting these
grandma's
children in the
basement.
balls.
Yeah, and he's down there and he's talking crap on the headset to a 12-year-old. That's
Yeah.
weird.
It is really, really, really weird. That's what I think you more have to monitor when it comes to your kid. Not so much. I mean, I would hope that your child would know not to put a hooker in the back seat of a car or anywhere. The trunk, it doesn't matter. If you killed a hooker, don't do that. Don't even kill a hooker.
Yeah, well,
Anyway,
you have to win the game.
you
So,
have to kill the hooker.
I mean, I don't know, but if you do, you're gonna kill her. I mean, I'm not
Why
gonna
would you
lose
kill
because
her?
it's
Why couldn't
morally
you
wrong
just do it and then let her be free? I
because you
need to
don't have
play.
the money to pay her, and she has a pimp who's gonna kill you. So it's either kill her or get killed.
You
I'm
know a
making
lot
all of
about
this
this
up. I have no idea.
Like, really? There's a pimp? You have to kill the hooker?
I mean,
This is
every hooker has a
intense.
pimp, right? Every good hooker has a pimp.
Yeah, in Mario 2, you'd have a raccoon tail, and sometimes you could kind of fly a little. And that to me was bombastic in the 90s. But this shit you're telling me is blowing my mind. There's a man after you because you hooked up. You ever
Video
play?
games have come a long ways.
They have. You know what I bought a couple Christmases ago for Ryan is an arcade game, and it's Blitz. Do you remember
I have
Blitz?
it too.
You
Yeah.
do?
It's like it looks like an actual arcade game. Yeah, we have it. NFL
Yeah.
Blitz.
So we have Blitz and we have Pac-Man and Street Fighter. Do you remember Street Fighter?
Mhm.
That was so good. But I tell you, the kids come down and they play them and they're just not, they're like, this is stupid. And
Well,
I'm like,
yeah.
no, the ghosts chase you and you got to eat the little dots and then you win. And they're like, where's the hooker? I know.
True.
It's sad. It's
I mean,
sad, but it's true.
it
Sean,
is. So you don't even have to have a headset anymore. And we got a PlayStation 5 recently. And
Mhm.
so it used to be if you didn't plug in a headset, you just didn't hear what your opponent was saying. It just because you didn't have a headset. But
Yeah.
now the controller on the PS5
Oh, it's
has a speaker in it. And so you can turn off your microphone, but you hear what they're saying regardless. And the other day, Quentin was playing some dude on online, and like out of his controller. It's just like the shit this person was saying. I'm like, goodness gracious,
sir, my child.
yeah. This
Yeah.
kid is I wanted to be like, unmute that. This kid is 13. Please don't talk like that to him.
Did you don't you think in a way that's also kind of scary? And I used to tell Cooper when he was in the throes of wanting to play video games all the time, I would tell him like, don't tell them where we live. Like, you didn't tell them where we live, did you? He's like, Mom, no, I didn't tell anyone where we live. But you could see that happening where, predators, I don't even think to catch a predator they can't even keep up anymore because there's so many new creepy ways,
Yeah,
It used to be, do you want some lemonade? And then the guy would show up and that was it. I mean, you were screwed. And then now they're talking to kids. Do they have to put their age in? Like, do they match up with, it's just whoever's playing?
you don't have, I mean, you might have to put your age in when you sign up, but they certainly don't check your ID. So Mr. 45-year-old predator dude
Yeah.
who's trying to talk shit to my 13-year-old could say that he's 17.
Yeah, you're so right. How scary is that, huh?
It's scary. Now Shannon's gonna watch this and she's gonna be like, "What is Quentin doing in the basement every
Oh,
single afternoon?" So I just screwed
no.
my kid from playing video games ever again. Sorry, Quentin, if you ever watch this. But you're right. And Shannon works in the law enforcement. She knows like the crazy stuff that
Like the
actually happens in this
pedophiles.
world. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's like, she don't mess around with that stuff. Like if there's any chance that these people could get to our kids, then nope, it's done.
Did I told you I have a pedophile in my neighborhood and he
Yeah.
drives the same car as I do.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Color.
So people think you're
model.
the pedophile.
So as I'm driving, I feel like I need to roll down the windows and be like, I don't touch children.
If
That's
you go
never
back and
been a
watch 6
thing
or
for
7
me.
episodes ago, though, you may hear Sadie kind of being pedophile-ish.
What? What did I say that
I
was
forgot what happened,
pedophile-y?
remember? But you
Stop
for a
it.
week were texting me and like, "Hey, should I not post that episode? Did I really dig myself a hole? Are people gonna
Oh,
think
you
that I
know what it
actually beat
was?
kids or something?"
No,
What
no,
was
no,
it
no.
about?
It was about that guy that drugged those
Oh,
teenage
yeah,
girls
you
at
said
their
it was
birthday
alright that he
party
drugged some
sleepover,
teenagers.
and I jokingly said, "Well, I mean, have you ever had a bunch of girls have a sleepover at your house? I mean, come on." And then after I thought, "Oh my god, I'm gonna get canceled. We're gonna lose all our video game sponsorship money." That's just not rolling.
I don't know how I would live without an extra 77 cents a week.
It's more than that, Sean. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for listening to today's episode of Sadie and Sean Have No Friends, brought to you by our amazing presenting sponsors at Talent Co Real Estate. Go to homeandnoco.com for that home of the week. And also, I want to tell you about the pet of the week. Sean, are you ready?
I bet it's a poodle that's really pretty and it has some sort of Game of Thrones name. Am I right?
Well, I did talk about it yesterday, but yes, Khaleesi. And I think you can change the name if you want to, because I liked Game of Thrones, but not enough to name an animal that I'm going to constantly be yelling at.
Khaleesi's a
Khaleesi!
horrible name to yell too.
Khaleesi! Yeah, it's weird, but so you could change this dog's name, but it's a poodle Shih Tzu mix. They're so cute. It is the cutest animal.
It's
If
a
you're
Shih
watching,
Tzu, not a Shih Tzu.
is it
Shih
Shih
Tzu.
Tzu? I don't
Yeah,
think it's Shih Tzu.
it's Shih Tzu. And I always feel like it's weird when people who don't cuss have to say its name because it's Shih Tzu. Like
I thought it was I always try to say Shih Tzu because I don't wanna,
the
like
person who has the biggest potty mouth in the history of the land changes a name from Shih Tzu to Shih Tzu because it might be offensive.
I know, that's really dumb. It's true, though, I
It's
do
Shih
that.
Tzu.
It's, the pet of the week. It can be found all the info at mysecondhomerescue.com, and it's a big, big thank you, Sean, going out to Casey, who is the Casey Zimmerman. He owns Casey's Pest Control Services. Go to his website. He helps these animals get adopted, and then I think he doesn't feel as bad killing cockroaches and spiders, and you know what? I think it's a great plan. I think
I,
he's doing good work out there, and that's it.
I do too. Okay, bye.
Bye.